రేష్మి ఒకసారి నా ఫోన్ ఇక్కడి నా ఫోన్ ఇక్కడి దీంట్లో పెట్టి పడేసిన దాంట్లో వేరే దాంట్లో పెట్టి
एप्पल से लेके अगरबत्ती तक सब मिलेगा स्विगी इंस्टामार्ट में।
Living in Hyderabad, looking for a health checkup? Then this video is for you. Dr. C is now providing 50 test health. Living in Hyderabad, looking for a health checkup? Then this video is for you. Dr. C is now providing 50 test health.
Namaste, Suswagatam, and welcome to our Sunday edition of Gyan Ganga Words of Wisdom on our Virat Hindustan Sangam social media channels. As you all know, we are on various social media platforms at the same time, Sunday after Sunday at 8 p.m. Today is episode number 238, and for the next 45 minutes, we will be discussing a very burning issue, that is the NEET exam chaos and Namaste, Suswagatam, and welcome to our Sunday edition of Gyan Ganga Words of Wisdom on our Virat Hindustan Sangam social media channels. As you all know, we are on various social media platforms at the same time, Sunday after Sunday at 8 p.m. Today is episode number 238, and for the next 45 minutes, we will be discussing a very burning issue, that is the NEET exam chaos, NTA's exam fiasco, and the students' problem. So we will have with us Dr. Swami, first starting the introductory remarks, and then Dr. Arvind Chaturvedi, who is also an academician associated in the past with numerous educational institutions. He will also give us a background, and then Ramesh Swami and myself, we will be discussing this hot topic, which is agitating the students and the youth all over the country. So with these remarks, is over to Dr. SUBRAMANIAN SWAMY.
Thank you, Jagdish. I think this is one of the most important issues that we are taking up, because it deals with the youth of this country, and particularly youth at this at the level of graduating into people who will be running the country, and to see the kind of scandals that have emerged in it. I don't think that our 1-year program is going to suffice. We may have to come back again. And Parliament itself had to adjourn. They were not able to even discuss the matter because it appears to me that the ruling party, that is our party, the BJP, now of course it's called NDA because it's BJP hasn't got a majority. They feel a little sensitive because this was the NEET was started during the time of the BJP government, and what we see is it's huge. There are some good things that have happened earlier on when the NEET, ended the complete racket that was going on for admissions, particularly to medical colleges and business schools in Tamil Nadu, and that brought it to some degree of control. But now it's exploding because the numbers are so large that it's impossible to see even if you have two referees, there's bound to be difference of opinion. So if you have such a large number for whom you have to find for the to decide who is number one, who's not number two, etc. In fact, you find that there were something called perfect scores, where we used to be only 2 or 3 used to get it. Now we find all of a sudden in the last year 67 students got it. And after some review, it was found that there were a lot of hanky-panky in this. So first of all, there have been other things that have been introduced, like grace marks. Now, grace marks is a very dangerous thing, which is been introduced, where out of personal contacts and so on, you can increase your position. In fact, there was a time when there were only 2 or 3 students who used to get perfect scores. Now, the perfect score means 100%. It's gone up to a huge number, relatively speaking, of 67 in the last 2 years. So I would say that we have before us I have been a professor, but I was a professor when we had all these famous professors who used to mark the examinations with their own hands, and it was a great privilege. And they went through all the every sentence and gave you an answer which nobody ever complained. Today the situation is not that, because the entrance exam has now has become so big, and therefore the situation has changed. So I am not that familiar with the present system. But Arvind Chaturvedi, who is with us, has been a professor. He has been at he got a PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, and so he's been dean also. So I think what I would think is that first let's hear from Arvind Chaturvedi his diagnosis of the illness today in the NEET, and is there a hope of curing it? Over to you, Arvind.
Thank you, sir. Let me start with the present controversy, which many of our viewers may also be aware of in brief. So first, I'll mention what is the problem with the NEET exam and why the controversy has been created. Then I'll come about the NEET exam itself, and then the formation of NEET, how the NEET has been formed, and what the agencies such as NTA, which started this NEET exam, there has been a problem, and it is not the first time that we have problem. Last several years we have had problems with the NEET results, and then we discuss about the details of the current situation, and then the solutions that are possible through mutual discussion. Now we all know that this controversy arose because of the results of the NEET 2024. NEET has been conducted for several years now. and this NEET exam, that is called National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test. This has been started by an agency called NTA, National Testing Agency. And we'll go into the formation of this agency later. But this exam has been full of controversies for several years now. This year, 23 lakhs students appeared. 2.3 million students appeared in the NEET test. Previous year it was roughly around 21 lakhs. Earlier it was 18-19 lakhs. It has been increasing every year, and it will continue to increase because there is no limit on number of attempts one student can take into the NEET or the medical entrance. That means those who fail, they continue to appear, so the number is also increasing, and the new population is also adding new students, so number is continuously increasing. Now, to handle exam of this size, we require agency which is very robust, and people who are in the know of academics and exam system, they should be part of it. But what NEET is, how the NEET is handled by NTA is NTA has very scant staffing of its own. Most of the examination control is in the hands of contractors, and these are private contractors. And you know, when the private contractors come into the play, what kind of vested interest they may have. So the present controversy arose when the results of the NEET were declared in the first week of June. Actually, the results were supposed to be declared on 14th of June. And we are hearing for the first time in India, an agency declares the result 10 days in advance. So results were declared much more earlier than it was supposed to be. But anyway, they say that election results will be out and all that. So 4th June, before that we should declare the result. So 10 days in advance the results were declared. Next day itself, when Dr. Swami, you just now mentioned, there were 67 toppers. So students who saw the list, they found it has happened for the first time in any exam in India, and maybe perhaps in the world, that there are so many perfect scorers. NEET exam has 180 questions. Each question has 4 marks. And if the answer is incorrect, there is a negative marking that you get -1. So only those who answer all 180 questions correctly, they only can get 720 score. They are the toppers. And last few years' results show that there was 1 topper, 2 toppers, maybe sometimes 4 toppers. But this time there were 67 toppers, so the eyebrows were raised. And when the eyebrows were raised, people started probing into it, that how come it has happened. And in the list of the toppers, it was found there was one college in Haryana which has 7 toppers. And all the 7 toppers' roll numbers were also very close to each other. Maybe perhaps they were sitting in the same room. And this itself is enough indication of the kind of examination system we have. And as I said earlier, since the entire the system is handled by private contractors, even the colleges, they have to apply, and the NTA selects the colleges, and maybe one college can bid for 3-4 centers and so on and so forth. And so when the controversy arose about 67 toppers, people started looking into the marks. They also found that some students had 719 marks. They are not the toppers, but 1 mark less than the perfect score, or 718 marks. Now, in the present marking system, where you answer 180 questions correctly, you get 720, and even if 1 question is incorrect, you get 715, because 4 marks gone for 1 wrong question, and -1 is also added. So it was impossible in any system to get in the present marking system to get 718 or 719. So the question was raised. After 3 days, the explanation was provided that there some grace marks were given. And as Dr. Swami just now mentioned, this system of grace marks is again unique in this particular exam. And then when the probing was done that why there was a grace mark, they said in some exam centers the paper was not distributed in time. Some students had less time to complete the examination process because which is 3 hours. So maybe some to compensate for the time loss, some marks were given, but no explanation was provided. Now the aggrieved students went to the court. When the aggrieved students went to the court issued notice to NTA and Ministry of Education. Minister of Education, Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, who was also Minister of Education in the previous regime or Modi 2.0, he continued to maintain that there is nothing wrong in the system, there is no scam in this picture, and NTA will take care of it, don't worry. He kept on maintaining that. But then ultimately, after a few days, when Supreme Court started asking NTA for explanation, NTA admitted this grace marks were given. And when the questions were raised at this system of giving grace marks, then NTA said, all right, we will withdraw these grace marks to compensate for the students who have lost the rank. We will conduct a re-exam on 23rd of June. And they also gave a list of those students who got the grace mark. There were some 1,563 students. And they were told, if you want to appear in the re-exam, you appear, it is not compulsory. If you don't appear, then your old score without the grace mark will be used for the rank. So when 23rd June the re-exam was conducted, half of the students, roughly 863 or say 800 and odd students appeared. That means remainder students were not sure that they will maintain that score, and therefore they avoided the re-exam. So that is the controversy. And then in the Supreme Court probing was going on, investigation was going on. Then the police also came into action. EOW, Economic Offences Wing, CBI, and many other places, different force, they started examining. They found that Dharmendra Pradhan was lying. Why Dharmendra Pradhan was lying? They identified in Patna on the 5th of May, the day of the exam, one person was arrested. One person was arrested because the paper was leaked, and this person confessed to the police that he was given the complete question paper, not handed over, but he was given the questions, and he was asked to remember all the answers and somehow cram the answers and then write in the next day. And when next day, as soon as he completed the exam, he was arrested. That means it was in the full knowledge of the Education Ministry and NTA that at least one case was found in Patna where the person has been arrested, which is sufficient for them to take notice of. But they ignored it as if nothing has happened, and Dharmendra Pradhan kept on mentioning that nothing is wrong with this. And if you investigate, some 7 or 8 states, Bihar, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, 7 states are involved in this scam. And today, one major eye-opening press conference was conducted by Shakti Singh Goyal. Shakti Singh Goyal is the Congress leader of Gujarat. He has been MP and MLA and minister also. And he has given all the proof which are required. He also issued a statement given by the Deputy Superintendent of Police of Anand. So he said in Anand, in Godhra, and some other towns of Gujarat, there was one institution called Jai Jalram Institution, and this institution had taken the contract for several centers. And the chairman of this institution is some Mr. Patel, and who is known to Mr. Modi because he has appeared in the several photographs with him. Smriti Irani, the then education minister in the first government in Modi 1.0, and then you have education minister of Gujarat, Mr. Chudasamma at that time, and some other people, they also appeared with him in the exam. In fact, the centers were inaugurated by Mr. Modi himself, the college center in Anand. Anyway, then it was found the procedure, modus operandi, which was similar to the person who was arrested in Bihar and in the Gujarat. The modus operandi was that the question paper was leaked. In this case, in Gujarat, there's another kind of scam. This was that the students can opt for change in the center. So people lined up in Gujarat centers that I want to have this center, I want to have this center, and people did not know why people from Odisha and different states are coming to this center. Naturally, there was a good setting done. You know, setting means the system has been, compromised. And the answer sheets were from the sealed boxes. Answer sheets, blank answer sheets were taken out with the name of the student, and the correct answers were marked. As you know, this is a pen and paper test where the examination marking is this is called OMR sheets. OMR sheets means that the pencil marks are recognized by the computer and the scores are given. So this marking was done by the person who has been the vice president of the Bharatiya Janata Party minority cell in Gujarat, and he had controlled many students' things. So this was revealed today that FIR was filed on 8th of May. 5th of May the exam was conducted. 8th of May the FIR was filed and the investigation started. And Dharmendra Pradhan did not know about it. I think what Dharmendra Pradhan has done is he has misled the parliament, he has misled the court, and he has provided false information, he has concealed information, and he has kept that information to himself despite the fact that he knew everything. Not only he, but entire Ministry of Education people should know that this has happened. So maybe in the solution, I demand Dharmendra Pradhan should be dismissed forthwith because he has compromised with the system and he has concealed the information from court and the public. Now this is the tip of the iceberg. Investigation is still going on. As I said, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, all these investigations are going on, and more than 30 people have already been arrested. Hazaribagh, the principal of the school and the vice principal of the school, of course some people say that he has been framed and all that for different reasons, I'm not going to that, but and a journalist, a Patrakar from Jharkhand who was also involved in this deal, he has been arrested. And in Bihar, of course, they say the person who had managed the question paper was known to the private secretary of Tejasvi Yadav. I'm not going into these allegations, whether these allegations may be political allegations, but yes, a guest house room was booked in the name of this person called Yadvendu Sikandar or something, and this Yadvendu Sikandar is known to the private secretary of Tejasvi Yadav, and he had booked the room. But anyway, this is still going on. Now, what about NEET? NEET was set up in 2017. Actually, during Narasimha Rao's time in 1992, you see, this is also a commentary when you look into these details, that how our government function, how slow they function. It's not only, they say, 9 din chale, 2.5 kos, itna speed. But 1992, when I think Arjun Singh was the Human Resources Minister, that time it was called Human Resources Ministry, now it is called Education Ministry once again. Human Resources Minister, he had recommended that a national testing agency should be formed, set up. And this was based on the National Education Policy of 1986. The recommendation was made in 1986. The decision was made in 1992, and it took almost 20 years. 2010, some committee was set up and all that, and 2013, the recommendations were made. Ultimately, in 2017, the committee was set up. And this committee, the NTA, is a society registered under Societies Act in the Ministry of Education, and chairman was appointed by the Ministry of Education. Of course, recently, after the controversy, the Director General, Sobodh Kumar Singh, was dismissed or suspended, whatever. He has been removed, and new Director General has taken over, who is an IAS officer. And this IAS officer will now probe into this and come with the new system. I have already given you the details of NEET exam, so I think we have to see the time also. Major controversies. The NTA is not the first time that it is under controversy. In 2020, one student who was declared topper of the medical NEET exam, he actually did not write the exam himself. For some excuse, he had taken a person. We have in all the university system that if the person is unable to write with the hand or something, some kind of writer is given to him in the exam. And this is a common procedure. So a particular person who topped the list, writer was given, and he topped the exam. And people raised objection that how can this person do that? He has not done well in the other exams and all that. Some investigation was done. 7 persons were arrested, including the person who had topped, including the parents of that person, and the school authority and some such. So there was a big controversy. And several controversies have happened in the NEET exam. Some student whose result was declared and she was given only 6 marks out of 720, and she committed suicide. But later on, when the probe was done, she had scored 590 marks and so on. So many people have committed suicide because of mistakes in the results. And NTA, because you see, if 1 or 2 or 10 persons complain about the system, nobody takes seriously. And this time, since huge demonstrations have taken place all over the country, and some political parties have also been taking this issue, and they have raised this issue in parliament also, so some kind of serious thing is being done. Otherwise, NTA would have passed this controversy also. Now, coming back to this probe once again, complaints related to leakage of the paper, complaint related to favors conducted for the contractors, corrupt practices used in the examination, the concessions given to various parties which are involved in this, and I have mentioned already the controversies which are already in public domain and which have been mentioned by people, including the today's press conference by Shakti Singh Goel, and I'm sure this will raise the issues further, because Bharatiya Janata Party office bearer and involved, and the chairman of the college that has been, he has several colleges in Anand, in Godhra, and some other parts of Gujarat, and I'm sure the people will take notice of it. BJP will defend it, but so the controversy is that why Dharmendra Pradhan was hiding. Was he doing it deliberately, or he did not know it? If he did not know it, then he deserves to be sacked. Because being an education minister of the country, if you do not know what's happening under your nose, then you have no right to continue as a education minister, number one. Number two, if he was hiding it deliberately, then it is all the more reason that without wasting a day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi should sack Education Minister Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan and order a probe. What probe has been ordered? Now a committee has been set up. This committee has been set up under the chairmanship of Mr. K. Radhakrishnan, who was the former head of ISRO and who is also chairman of Board of Governors of IIT Kanpur. This committee has been formed a week back, and K. Radhakrishnan has suggested some members also. This committee will go into the examination system and suggest the remedial measures to be taken. But maybe when the reports come, that's a different issue altogether. And question on NTA. Dr. Swamy, you had raised this question about NTA in the beginning. NTA is not only NEET. They conduct a large number of examinations in India, and these examination systems are not only for recruitment, they're also for different exams. For example, JEE, Joint Entrance Examination, for IITs and other engineering colleges. IITs, there have been almost about 65 years that IITs were set up. And initially, they used to conduct the examination themselves. And when the number of participants increased to a large size, then they broke it into two, main examination and the advanced examination. So main examination was used as a cutoff by other agencies also. In 2013, they introduced the system of two exams. Earlier, there used to be what is called AIEEE, All India Engineering Entrance Examination, which has been now merged with JEE. Similarly, for medical entrance, there used to be All India PMT, pre-medical test. And All India pre-medical test, this was done by different states. For example, Uttar Pradesh will have its own PMT, Karnataka will have its own PMT, and so on and so forth. So this was done by the state governments or a department in the state government. And after the NEET, it was taken over. But let me also tell you, Ramesh is also here, about the Tamil Nadu government. Tamil Nadu government has been opposing the NEET from day one. Tamil Nadu government has been saying that NEET is unfair to the poor students. NEET has been unfair to the students who speak Tamil. They do not know English, and so on and so forth. Therefore, in fact, even yesterday there was a statement from Tamil Nadu government that we are scrapping NEET. But naturally, being a part of the union government, state governments cannot take such a decision. But Tamil Nadu government has also filed, they have gone to the court, they have filed several appeals about scrapping of the NEET. So maybe if the scrapping of the NEET is done after these controversies, maybe some kind of reform is required. Similarly, the reform is required in all the examinations. CUET, Central University Entrance Test. In fact, it was started only last year because different central universities did have their own independent system, and it was causing some problem because people have to apply to different universities and several applications have to be given. So CUET was introduced. Similarly, like JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, this examination is handled by NTA. Similarly, we have several government bodies like Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, IIFT, in Delhi, which was earlier in the Commerce Ministry. They offer MBA programs. They do not go by the CAT, Combined Admission Test, and therefore NTA does the exam. So NTA does several exams for University Grant Commission, CISR. The exam which has been cancelled recently after this controversy was UGC NET. NET. This UGC NET exam is necessary for a person who is applying for a lecturership in any university or any college. And so CSIR is for a scholarship of the same academic cadre, and UGC also has a cadre which is NET. NET is a qualifying exam. So somebody who has not qualified NET cannot become a lecturer in a government college or something, or a state university. Private universities do take, but most of the private universities also have made NET compulsory. So this is NTA, and this is just brief, and now we can discuss the issue and how we arrive at solutions.
Yeah. Before we go to my other colleagues here, Jagdish, I will like to just make two comments. One is that look at the degradation that has taken place in India. There was a time when we used to have Saraswati Puja. I was taught from childhood, never put your foot on any printed paper, because that is an insult to Saraswati. That is the kind of respect we had for education.
Right.
And if there was somebody who was an educated man, then we thought very highly of him. But today, I find so many politicians, I have to catch them to find out that they have bogus, degrees. I can name people because I've gone to public on this. Sonia Gandhi was the one who bluffed me about her going to the University of Cambridge. Same thing with her son. There are. I'm not so sure about Mr. Modi's educational qualification either. So I think the society should also now begin to say that if anyone claims that he is educated, then he must prove it openly and should not hesitate at all. Today, when I point out that A is bogus education, the other fellow's got a bogus degree and so on, people say, no, why get into this? There will be problems. Leave it to them. No, education should be treated as the highest spiritual thing for us. And we Indians particularly placed education at the top. It's there in Bhagavad Gita, it's there everywhere. So, therefore, I think we cannot improve this situation. If anybody can claim any degree that he has, and nobody then, questions them or ostracizes them. So, I think we need the Indian public now to be very strict. And particularly when it comes to election and you found that the fellow has told a lie, he must be defeated, no matter how wonderful otherwise he is. He must be defeated because he has actually spoiled the name of Saraswati by doing so. This is, I think, one aspect of our culture which is necessary before we can bring policing. Policing is only can be supplemental in such situations.
Arvind, before Dr. Swami and Arvind, you all have given a very good insight. Arvind has given a detailed of all the exams. What I want from Arvind Chaturvedi is, what do you find, what is the solution to the present mess which is affecting the exams and the students' life? What is the way out of the present mess? Because from the questions and from what campaign is going on, there are two types of campaign going on, and which is clearly reflected in what the questions students are putting. One group of students don't want the exam to be reconducted again, and one group says we go ahead with the whatever is the results or whatever it is. So I just want Arvind Chaturvedi's first take in the matter, what he wants to say and what is the way out of the present mess.
Now, Jagdish, I said in the beginning that in 1986, education policy recommended forming of a central testing agency for the simple reason that number was increasing every year. Now, as I have said, especially exams like JEE, Joint Entrance Examination for Engineering, and NEET for medical, these are two main streams where people, after doing their secondary schools, they go for their career making. And this number of examinees, the number of participants is increasing day by day. 14 lakhs students appear in joint interest examination for engineering. It is not a joke. Now, similarly, for management students, I've been in the management area for several years. I know CAT is the main exam, combined admission test. And this combined admission test is done by Indian Institutes of Management themselves. They by rotation do it. For example, one year IIM Ahmedabad is conducting the exam all over India. Next year maybe Bangalore or Calcutta or so different. Now there are 20 IIMs. Now earlier there were only 4 or 5. So now the number of applications has also gone up. Now large number of management colleges all over India, they also recognize the score of CAT, and the students who undertakes the CAT, if it does not qualify for IIM or one of the IIMs, they go for other colleges. Similarly, I mentioned about IIT. IITs used to do it themselves, and even today, the second part after JEE mains, which is done by NDA, advanced test is done by IITs, and they do it by rotation. This year it has been done by IIT Madras, that is 2024. Next year IIT Kanpur will do it. And similarly, the turn of different IITs come. And if I know, I think 19 70s this test started. Earlier, IITs were admitting on merit basis and their own small test. But after that, they had all India exam. So last 50 years, more than 50 years actually, except once in 1997, IIT examination paper was leaked. Otherwise, in last 50 years, nothing has happened in IIT. I know how fair IIT exam is. Professors who are in IIT for several years, even their children, if they don't qualify, there's no way they can get into. And I've seen several professors whose children have attempted IITs and have failed. It is such a fair exam. So maybe if there is a will, there is a way. So first of all, the NTA is based on the outside contractors. There's no full-time staff, and therefore there's no stakes. There's no responsibility, and therefore the examination should be conducted by a body which has full-time staff, so that somebody can be blamed if something goes wrong, and somebody can be identified. Right now, it's very easy because the example I gave, the one college, by paying some under the table money or by unfair means, they can get their centers nominated for exam, and then they can cover the fees by through students, by taking money from the student, and that is what has been found. So the system has to be foolproof. System has to be done by an agency which has full-time staff, and such as IITs or IIMs. IIMs in last almost 50 years, no leak has ever been reported. Nobody has ever complained about any mistake in IIM system. But well, since that is earlier, that was also under government control. All the IIMs were also part of the government because they were found by the resolution of parliament. Now only a few years they are independent after the IIM bill was brought. But otherwise, they were part of the government earlier. So if they can manage, IITs can manage, IIMs can manage in India, why can't NTA manage it? So it can be managed, provided, you see, going back to the old system of giving freedom to the states to organize, there will be many different issues, there will be many different questions. And the problem why central examination was required is, suppose there is a person who is seeking the entrance into medical college, the candidate has to look for opportunities. He or she has to apply for one exam in Uttar Pradesh, one in Karnataka, one in Maharashtra, one in Gujarat. So several exams have to be, the candidate has to appear in. So one central exam is good. One central exam I'm not against. But the system has to be foolproof, and the agency has to be responsible.
Dr. Swamy, you have been exposed to academics. In a sense, you were the top ranking student in Delhi University, then Indian Institute of Statistics, then you were in Harvard, and you taught in Harvard also. What type, the NTA is, if I'm not mistaken, the Secretary General or something, there is or Director General. That post is earlier also one IAS officer, and today also a newly appointed man is an IAS officer. It's an educational body. The objective of this organization is to conduct fair examination. So what is your comment on these IAS officers holding these positions in these bodies?
I totally agree with you, Jagdish. IAS officers should not be made in charge of any educational institution, number one. The Minister of Education should be someone who is educated and not someone who can act as a donkey for some other higher placed minister who can ensure that all these his friends' children and all get their admissions done through the minister. The bane has started this. There was a time when you had giants as education minister in India. You see, when we are hardly begun as an independent country, Then after this, I regret to say, the whole thing began to deteriorate, and we and the BJP have taken it one step forward. That's about all. But I can give you examples of the previous last 2, 3, 4 governments where they ruined the educational system by breaking the rules and bypassing them.
And Dr. Swami, I would like Ramesh to comment. He is based in America. What type of system they have there, and how much transparency there is in America in these selection processes?
Thank you, Jagdishji. Quickly, I'll go over what we have. We have a system called ETS, Educational Testing Services. It is a private entity. It is not a government entity. They have been conducting this TOEFL, GRE, SAT, all these exams for, I don't know, maybe even 100 years, or maybe 60, 70 years to my mere knowledgeable people.
And all over the globe.
All over the globe. And the exam is taken by students all over the globe. They have never faced an issue where paper leak and this and that. They have not been such a huge controversy as to what is happening and impacting so many students. Number one, the impact of this SAT scores, which is in the US, has been more off late being taken to a different direction, because some of the universities feel that the hardworking Asian students score higher than other students. So they are saying, some good universities are saying, we'll do a virtue signaling and we'll take only 50% of, or some percentage of SAT scores, academic and plus other things also. Let's say if you're doing sports, arts and all those things, we have to do a comprehensive thing and not only SAT. So this is the model that we are following in the US as of today. So you cannot just say you have high scores in your entrance exam, you're given an admission. That's not how it works. You have to balance everything together. This entrance exam is just a filtering thing because there are millions of students. So you filter. Once you do that, among the filtered students, some weightage is given to this entrance exam, weightage is given to your regular academics, non-academic things that you've done, everything put together. So they want a rounded student. This is the concept in which US is following. And this is not only in the US, because as Arvindji just said, these exams are conducted, student takes these exams all over the world, be it India, China, all over Europe, everywhere. They take the same exam and there is absolutely no issues. And plus, what they do is, they don't have the exams happening on the same day. Some US students will take it on one day. So basically, you can reduce the corruption, you can reduce this cheating and all these paper leaks by having, like what you're conducting elections, have NEET exams in different modes so that you don't know which paper is going where. So you reduce the chance of paper getting leaked and keep that electronic. Unfortunately, this time, they have conducted in this MCR model, basically the OCR recognition paper model, and there is bound to be a lot of chances of that also being rigged, unless we get to a point where, right now, Dr. Swami and Jagdish ji, all exams conducted by ETS in America right now is all electronic, no more paper. So you have to go sit in a center. There is a monitor in front of you and a keyboard. That's it. You don't know what question is going to come. Literally to that extent, you don't know what question is going to come to you. Okay, so it has to be to that level so you can reduce. So technology is available, facilities are available, and I think this is the model India should adopt to reduce the corruption, because students are, as Arvindji said, they are busting their backs, studying over a year, night and day. And why should students who work very hard, study hard for these things, be penalized for some crooks who are ready to pay some money and game the system? Now, what has happened? Now you scrap the system. Why would the student go and take the exam again? Imagine the amount of preparation that he has to make. There are so many people who can't afford the 3,000 or 4,000 rupees they have to spend to go to a center. They don't have a center nearby. Why is this not being taken up in the sense that students are in all of this, Dr. Swami? What pains me the most, neither the PM nor the education minister has owned up the responsibility and accountability, saying that we are sorry. Something has gone wrong. I'll give you assurance, and I will see to that some action has been taken. If only these 4 sentences are said by this Prime Minister that we have, that you guys have, sorry, I don't want to own it myself, so that you have, if they even owned up on the responsibility, saying that we will investigate. Nothing. Instead, Kohli is retired, congratulations. Jadeja is retired, congratulations. Rohit has retired, congratulations. India has won World Cup. He is now saying in one tweet on 27th of June, he's saying India's universities are great. And is this what the greatness we're talking about when you're conducting a bogus entrance exams for these universities? How do you consider the Indian universities are great? It is a shame. And Arvindji, I completely agree. When IIT JEEs have been conducted without any controversy, I think a similar structure with the newer technologies that we have today, this can be corrected. The core problem, Dr. Swamy, as Arvindji said, is the NTA. Why are there only 15 employees when lakhs of students are taking exam? 23 lakhs in NEET, so many others in the other exams, in engineering exams. We're talking about 30-40 lakhs students per year.
1 crore, more than 1 crore.
1 crore students. 1 crore students, life and future at stake. And as Dr. Swamy, as you said, so many people are students are committing suicide. And absolutely no sense of responsibility and ownership from the government is shocking. And the media is dancing around somewhere else without even looking at the plight of these students. And the students are out in the streets. Who's getting penalized? Who's getting criminalized? The students. It is a shame that nobody, even the opposition is playing some game a little bit, but at the end of the day, the ownership and accountability has not been taken. So the solution from my angle, because I'm a technology guy, is, as I said, move electronic, make this NTA more accountable. They are not accountable today. They are an independent society. So they are pointing fingers, oh, we are only 15 people, we don't know. I gave contract to this guy, I gave contract to that guy. You go, why are you catching the guy at the end of the rope? The guy who created it should have been put in jail. Put all the 15 members of the NTA in jail first for failure to conduct an exam and spoiling the future of the students. Throw all the 15 members of this NTA in jail first, and then we will start the investigation. Yeah. They have no responsibility, accountable, nothing. They are not fearing anything. That's all I wanted to say, Dr. Swamy, because it is frustrating.
Ramesh, let me add. We are discussing NEET, and I mentioned about JEE, because NTA.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, there are cases where state governments handle many exams for jobs, and there also papers are leaked and the students have to suffer. For example, police service exam, where you have to recruit constables for the police force in Uttar Pradesh, has been leaked twice, and both the times the examination results were cancelled. Now look at the examination system. When a participant has to suffer, the person has to travel, maybe a student or a person who is already employed, from his or her residence to the center of the examination, stay overnight, appear next morning in the examination, and then so eating, staying, lodging, boarding and all that, and then if the examination is cancelled, all that expenses is to be borne again. It is not an
one more thing. In some of the cases, at least most of the girl candidates, the parent also, one of the parent or somebody.
Correct.
Right, where will they stay?
Expenses are double. Expenses are double. And I was examining in Uttar Pradesh in last 10 years, some 40 examinations have been cancelled or the papers were leaked. It's not only one JEE or NEET that we are talking about. So the system is so corrupt. System is so corrupt, full of people who have vested interest. They will not allow, if, for example, if I'm interested in 10 candidates to be recruited, and if I'm unable to get it, I will somehow see to it the whole examination is cancelled. So the next time I can try. Next time I can try. This is the way things are happening in India, and I'm not talking about Uttar Pradesh alone, I'm not talking about national test alone. In every state, the same thing has happened for many state-conducted exams.
One small input, Arvindji, anecdotally, in exams in the US, in some of these exams, they have a bouquet of, let's say, 500 questions. No student, 2 students will get the same exact set of questions for everyone. They'll be randomized. They take a bunch, give it to the computer. The computer will randomly generate say, okay, this question is assigned to you. It can assign it to another student also. But I'm saying that one guy sitting next, they wouldn't know what question they're getting. It's all, that
Correct.
is
Not
why I'm
only
saying,
that,
unless you,
not only that, if there is a multiple choice questions, A, B, C, D, and the A is the
order is
correct answer,
changed. Order
for
is
one
changed.
student, A will be correct answer, second person, B will be the correct
Correct.
answer.
That is
So
exactly my
students have no
point.
way. No
Yeah, there
copying
is
can
no
be
way to
possible.
cheat. There is no way to cheat. This is exactly
So these
why
softwares are available. These technologies are
available today.
available.
That is what I'm trying to say. This
Correct.
is available today. Students in India take these kind of exam today when they go to sit in SAT or TOEFL or some things like that. They take exams like this. It is not that it is not there. In fact, if I am not mistaken, I may be completely wrong. This NEET was electronic and they made manual this time or something like that. I was not so sure yet. I've not come to and I've not fully read through that thing. It appeared to have been computerized earlier, but now since this time they're trying to do the exam, they're doing it paper or some nonsense like that. At the end of the day, there are two things we have to talk to some. There is a corruption that has to be investigated. Throw the 15 members of the NTA in jail first. The PM and the education minister have to own up responsibility. And as Arvind said, the education minister has to be sacked or he should step down. It's a shame that he continues to be one. See what is the solution. The solution is go electronic, do these kind of things. It is easy to do. It is not expensive. You can throw open all these computers and all these things private. No, who cares? At the end of the day, the questions are coming from a server which nobody, even the guys, can hack. This is the model we need to go. Otherwise, I am telling you, the future of these students, we're going to see more and more, sadly, students suffer. And when the student says, I'm not going to take NEET next year, I'm going to take next year, you are cumulatively adding more students down the pipeline where you have only limited number of seats. So the competition is increasing. By this corruption, you are only creating more problems for the students rather than solving them.
No, as I've already said about the full-time staff taking care of the exam, we have one university in Delhi called Indira Gandhi National Open University.
Right.
Indira Gandhi National Open University is about 30-40 years old. They conduct entrance examination. And the professors are involved. I have not seen or heard so far that any examination paper, entrance paper of IGNOU was leaked or some such thing has happened. I have not heard. Because there are people who are accountable. Their jobs are at stake.
Somebody just posted that even if it's online, it can be leaked. I'm telling you, yes, it can be leaked. If there are 1,000 questions, a guy sits there, he cannot memorize 1,000 questions. Please try to understand. The technology is there. It is going to randomize the question. And if somebody says A, B, C, D, the answer is B, he goes there. Actually, the answer would be D. Like Arvind said, it will all be randomized. Please try to understand. Is it 100% foolproof? Maybe not. But 90%, yes, because I am happy that this 90% of the time it is right. And the students who are deserving will score what they want to deserve, and rather than undeserving people who go rig these kind of exams. You have uneducated people who rule this country rigging the elections because they can take money. Please try to understand. Don't justify saying that, oh, this can be gone. We have to come to a solution. We can't just sit back and just criticize and say leave alone. Then that's not the nature of what we do in VHS. Okay, we identify a solution. We also identify the problem, the root cause, and the solution. That is the logic. And I think some of the students who commented, please try to understand. It has to be randomized. If it's not randomized, I'm trying to tell you, there's no way you're going to see this. You're going to see more of this nonsense that you're seeing. I would say this through. Before
Arvind winds up, I have a few comments to make. Dr. Swamy, you left a cozy job in the Harvard University and you came to India, took up the IIT job. The leftist and Indira Gandhi and her group did not like you being very straightforward and working in IIT. Now, what I want to tell our viewers is that the corruption is not just in politics. If politics is corrupt, slowly every sphere of life or every sphere of activities get corrupt. Because generally some people think, oh, it's between a politician and a contractor that something has happened, what do I lose? Ultimately, the entire nation loses. Just now as we see the decay in our admission system, that is due to the corruption which is coming everywhere. A prime minister who came 10 years ago saying, "Main khaunga nahi aur khane ko dunga nahi." Now we see what is happening. It is shocking. In fact, Dr. Swamy, the Jai Jalaram school or a chain of schools and colleges in Gujarat had a bigger scandal of conducting the classes are supposed to be for 66 students, the SSC class. They recruited 450 students and the High Court fined them some 39 lakh rupees as fine. And it is the same defaulting institution which was given this contract or a bid to conduct this exam.
That's right.
And this racket happened. So what I'm trying to say is, people think when we talk about corruption of 2G or any type of corruption which Dr. Swamy has been highlighting, or whether it is the National Herald corruption, people sometimes think it is a fight between two politicians or between some politician and a statesman, and we did not get into it. But it is like this. The corruption comes into every sphere of life, whether it is the exams, whether it is the hospitals, whether it is our institutions, whether it is the court. So this decay we have to stop, and I think people should get up, whether it is one political party or another political party. Just now I see some comments. One group of students are now busy saying there should be no re-exam. Another group of students saying there should be an exam. We are only interested in short-term solutions, but we are not looking at the permanent solution to all this decay which is happening. So I think we must rise up as a nation, take tough decisions, and I think the time has come that our youth has been being cheated time and again. They have been cheated, and we must support our students to see that justice is done to them. And also having ministers who are chamchas, having education minister who after being sworn in the new government hardly tweeted anything on his own about education policy or any problems of the education sector. He was busy retweeting what his master has been tweeting, and he has been retweeting. If you go back and see last few days ago his timeline on Twitter, and you will find he has been just retweeting his master's voice. Nothing on his own, no views of his own on any of these issues. So we must come out of the psychophancy, and people should realize it. The youth who must have voted in the last election or who have become eligible for voting, they must rise above all this and see that corruption is rooted out. And if moral values get more importance, then we can have a better system. That's my take on today. I now leave it to Dr. Swamy or Arvind Chaturvedi whether you want to have a last word on this matter.
One point. Yata Raja Tata Praja. You have an uneducated person in the top. They would want only uneducated people. They don't want to educate the children. I'm telling you. It's like basically I want to get educated. I'm not going to get the others also educated. You translate this in Hindi, the DC, it's going to like inna kaunga na khane dunga. He says, however you want to take it. A person who has no value for education, who doesn't see the value of education, cannot think how valuable it is. It's just sad that we have a bunch of uneducated people running this country, and especially at least for, I don't care whether you run whatever you want to, Jumla, do 10 degrees, somebody gives you entire political spectrum, entire universal political spectrum, you get 10 degrees like that. But at the end of the day, for heaven's sake, have a decent, sensible guy to be the education minister and have it. This is the future. Please don't play with this. You play with anybody else. This is the future of India. 50 or 30 years from now, 40 years from now, we are looking at that. And I don't think we should create this kind of a system where you can cheat your way into schools and colleges. It is very sad.
Yeah, I think one last comment from my side before Arvind winds up. I think this is a ongoing matter, and we should have another session of this after a month, and then review what changes have taken place, if any, and otherwise what we need to do to see that changes are imposed on people who don't want changes. Over to Arvind.
Arvind ji.
Thank you very much.
Arvind ji, before you finish, 2 minutes. whatever we discussed, आप हिंदी में थोड़ा इसको summarize कर सकते हैं, because a lot of people are asking that. If you don't mind, 2 minutes summarize what we said, please. I know we are overshooting, but just please take 2 minutes.
जरूर। आज जो विषय हमने बहस के लिए वर्ड्स ऑफ विजडम ज्ञान गंगा में लिया, वो देश भर के छात्रों को उद्वेलित करता आ रहा है। न केवल छात्रों को, पर उनके अभिभावक जो पेरेंट्स हैं उनको भी ये विषय परेशान करता आ रहा है, क्योंकि परीक्षा की प्रणाली में गलतियां हैं, परीक्षा की प्रणाली में भ्रष्टाचार है, और परीक्षा की प्रणाली में भ्रष्टाचार होने की वजह से ही ये जो नीट एग्ज़ाम का जो विषय आज हमारे सामने आया है, एक उदाहरण के रूप में आया है। मैंने कई ऐसे दूसरे उदाहरण भी गिनाए जहां नीट के अलावा, चाहे वो इंजीनियरिंग की परीक्षा हो, चाहे वो जॉब के लिए पुलिस की परीक्षा हो, आरओ और एआरओ का परीक्षा हो, दूसरी यूपीएससी में बहुत ज़्यादा अभी तक इस तरह के कोई ज़्यादा विषय नहीं आए हैं प्रणाली में लीक होने के। लेकिन जहाँ पर भी इस प्रकार का लीक होता है, ये परीक्षा, अभी जो दूसरा एग्ज़ाम कैंसिल हुआ है 6 दिन पहले, वो तो एनईटी परीक्षा, जो नेशनल एलिजिबिलिटी टेस्ट एकेडमिक्स में लेक्चरर के लिए होता है। तो इस प्रकार की परीक्षाएं अगर रद्द होती हैं, इस डर से रद्द होती हैं कि हमारा सिस्टम इसको नियंत्रण नहीं कर पा रहा है, कंट्रोल नहीं कर पा रहा है, और परीक्षा का पेपर लीक हो जाएगा। यूजीसी नेट जो परीक्षा अभी कैंसिल हुई है, वो इस डर के कारण हुई है कि शायद इसका परीक्षा पत्र, प्रश्न पत्र लीक हो सकता है। हुआ है नहीं हुआ पता नहीं, तो परीक्षा ही रद्द हो गई। तो इस प्रकार का सिस्टम तभी सही हो सकता है जब सरकारी एजेंसी जो इस परीक्षा को नियंत्रित करती है, उस नियंत्रण करने वाली समिति में ऐसे लोग हों जो परीक्षा के तंत्र को, एग्जामिनेशन सिस्टम को पूरी तरह समझते हों, और जो उस परीक्षा तंत्र में रहे हों पहले, और सिर्फ आईएएस ऑफिसर के भरोसे अगर हम कोई भी तंत्र चलाते हैं, प्रशासन तो उनका हो सकता है दुरुस्त हो, लेकिन इस प्रकार की गलतियां बहुत होती हैं, और छात्रों का जो परीक्षा में बैठ रहे हैं उनका ट्रस्ट जो है वो हिल जाता है। उन्हें इस परीक्षा की प्रणाली में कोई अपना फेथ नहीं होगा, विश्वास नहीं होगा, और जब विश्वास नहीं होगा, उनको पता है कि इतना कंपटीशन है, यहाँ पे हम परीक्षा देने जा रहे हैं, कल को परीक्षा रद्द हो गई तो दोबारा परीक्षा होगी, या हमारी तैयारी बेकार चली जाएगी, हम अधूरे मन से तैयारी करते हैं छात्र। ये एक बहुत बड़ा हमारा परीक्षा प्रणाली का नकारात्मक पहलू है। इन पहलू को डॉक्टर स्वामी ने बताया कि किस प्रकार से हम सलूशन दे सकते हैं। शिक्षा से जुड़े हुए लोग शिक्षा के तंत्र में हों, परीक्षा के तंत्र में हों, और लोग जिम्मेदारी लेने को तैयार हों, दायित्व निभाने को तैयार हों, जहाँ गलती है उस गलती को सुधार करने के लिए तैयार हो। सिर्फ ऊपर ही ऊपर लीपापोती करने से कुछ नहीं होगा जब तक हम पूरा सिस्टम नहीं बदलेंगे। और जो जगदीश जी ने बताया गुजरात का सिस्टम, गुजरात में तो जो हुआ है और जो जग जाहिर हुआ है प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस के माध्यम से सबूतों के साथ, वो बिल्कुल आंखें खोलने वाला है। इसका मतलब है कि राजनीतिक लोग, पॉलिटिशियंस लोग भी इस सिस्टम में कहीं ना कहीं इन्वॉल्व हैं, और जब तक हम इस प्रकार के लोगों को सिस्टम से बाहर नहीं करेंगे तब तक इसमें सुधार नहीं होने वाला। और सुधार का एक पहलू नहीं होगा, एक आयाम नहीं होगा, बहुआयामी सुधार हमें बनाने पड़ेंगे। राधा कृष्णन की जो कमेटी बनाई गई है नीट के लिए, हम आशा करते हैं कि ये कमेटी कुछ अच्छे सुझाव देगी, और दूसरे शिक्षाविदों से जो एकेडमिशियंस हैं वहाँ पे उनको जाकर, उनको बुलाकर, उनकी राय लेकर एक तंत्र को विकसित करने का प्रयास करेगी। ऐसा हम उम्मीद करते हैं, आशा करते हैं। और सिर्फ एक सरकार से हम नाउम्मीद नहीं होंगे, क्योंकि भविष्य 1 करोड़ लोगों का है। एनटीए अकेला, नेशनल टेस्टिंग एजेंसी है, जो अकेले पूरे साल भर में 1 करोड़ लोगों की परीक्षा लेती है। 25 लाख तो सिर्फ नीट में आते हैं, 14-15 लाख जेई मेन एग्जाम में आते हैं, और दूसरे जो एग्जाम 1.5 लाख अभी जो परीक्षा रद्द हुई उसमें थे। तो ये सिस्टम को बदलने की ज़रूरत है और सही लोगों को लाने की ज़रूरत है। हम कहा करते थे अपने यूथ आंदोलन के दिनों में कि फ्री एजुकेशन, कंपल्सरी एजुकेशन एंड यूनिफॉर्म एजुकेशन। शिक्षा मुफ्त हो, शिक्षा समान हो, और शिक्षा अनिवार्य हो। अनिवार्य तो हमने कर दिया, लेकिन समान हम नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। अभी भी आईआईटी के लिए इतना रश क्यों होता है कि आईआईटी का दर्जा बाकी इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज से बहुत ऊपर है। हालांकि इंजीनियरिंग और मेडिकल में एक फ़र्क यह है कि इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज के लिए जितनी सीटें हैं डिमांड उससे कम है, लेकिन क्वालिटी की जो सीटें हैं वहाँ डिमांड बहुत ज़्यादा है। IITs खासतौर से NITs और ट्रिपल IITs जो ये वहाँ डिमांड बहुत ज़्यादा है, वहाँ पे सीटें लिमिटेड है। 40-45 हज़ार सीटें हैं और कई लाख विद्यार्थी इंजीनियरिंग में आना चाहते हैं। मेडिकल का जो परीक्षा का धांधली है उसका कारण भी यही है। 90-95 हज़ार सीटें हैं सब मिला के। हालांकि कॉलेजेस बहुत बढ़ गए हैं, अभी पहले 200 कॉलेज हुआ करते थे, अब 700 मेडिकल कॉलेजेस हैं भारत में, लेकिन परीक्षा देने वाले लोग कम से कम 25 गुना हैं, यानी कि एक सीट पर 25 विद्यार्थी हैं। अगर आप पीजी की बात करिए, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट में 1.5-2 करोड़ रुपए डोनेशन चल रहा है। और डोनेशन क्यों चल रहा है? डोनेशन इसीलिए चल रहा है कि पीजी की सीट जो है वो मुश्किल से 10,000-12,000 है, और हर मेडिकल कॉलेज का स्टूडेंट जो MBBS करता है वो बाद में पीजी करना चाहता है, क्योंकि MBBS में उतना अच्छा जॉब नहीं मिलता या उससे इतना फायदा नहीं है। तो पीजी में तो हालत और खराब है, वो हमने डिस्कस नहीं किया क्योंकि पीजी का भी एग्जाम अभी रद्द हो चुका है।
वो बाद में करेंगे, डॉक्टर स्वामी सेड
अगले
प्रोग्राम में करेंगे। एक चीज है अरविंद जी, डॉक्टर स्वामी लोगों आपसे कुछ सुनना चाहते हैं हिंदी में, आप जरा प्लीज डॉक्टर स्वामी, लॉर्ड ऑफ रिक्वेस्ट, सो एक दो शब्द।
नहीं, जो अरविंद ने जो बोला है उसके अतिरिक्त तो मैं कुछ और जोड़ नहीं सकता हूँ। इतना ही कहूँगा कि निराश मत होइए, क्योंकि मैंने बहुत देखा है। मैंने उस समय देखा है कि लोग कहते थे कि हम यहाँ सब भूख में मरेंगे क्योंकि हमारे देश में हम चावल उतनी नहीं पैदा कर सकते हैं और गेहूँ नहीं पैदा कर सकते हैं, इस तरीके की बात आज वो कोई नहीं कहता है, क्योंकि उससे हम आगे बढ़ गए हैं। ये जो ऐसा घटना होती है उससे हम सबक सीख कर आगे बढ़ेंगे, तो इससे हम आगे चले जाएंगे, और जो हुआ है वो कभी आगे होगा नहीं। ये इस आशा के साथ मैं समझता हूँ कि अगली बार जब हम इसी विषय पर रिव्यू करेंगे, इसका समीक्षा करेंगे, अब मैं आधा हिंदी में बोलूँगा और आधा अंग्रेजी में बोलूँगा।
One small anecdotal thing, Arvind ji, because of all these NEET and whatever scams and things are going, the number of students from India going abroad to study has doubled. Not 10%, 2%, it has doubled. We are almost 8 lakh students per year are getting out of India because they don't believe in this system. It is a shame that this government and this Prime Minister is saying tom-tomming and running nonsense. 8 lakh students, Arvind ji. It used to be 2 lakhs in 2014. Today, 8 lakh students are going abroad to study because they don't trust this system. They don't believe in the system. People who work hard and want to get an education, they know they cannot get it in India. It is a shameful situation in India today.
करेक्ट। आई थिंक हमें आगे कभी इस विषय पर भी बातचीत करनी चाहिए कि भारतीय शिक्षा तंत्र इतना निराशापूर्ण क्यों है कि भारत के विद्यार्थियों को बाहर जाने की ज़रूरत पड़ी। बल्कि हमें तो ये होना चाहिए कि विदेशों से लोग हमारे यहाँ पढ़ने आए। एक ज़माने में नालंदा विश्वविद्यालय की जो अभी दोबारा से उसको पुनर्स्थापित करने की कोशिश हो रही है, पूरे दुनिया से लोग आते थे भारत में पढ़ने के लिए, और अब भारत का तंत्र, रमेश जी आपने बताया, तो ये डिमांड और सप्लाई का बात है। अगर हम नए नए कॉलेजेस खोलेंगे, अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ देंगे, मेडिकल कॉलेज में सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि जितने ज़्यादा विद्यार्थी परीक्षा में उपस्थित होते हैं उतनी उनके लिए सीट हमारे पास नहीं है, इसीलिए कंपटीशन ज़्यादा है, इसीलिए करप्शन ज़्यादा है। तो सबसे पहले तो मैं प्रयास करना चाहिए कि सीटें सभी कॉलेज में बढ़ाई हैं। जो जिस विषय को पढ़ना चाहता है उस विषय को पढ़ने की सुविधा और प्रवेश की सुविधा उसको उपलब्ध होना चाहिए, ऑफ कोर्स विद क्वालिफाइंग मार्क्स। तो इन शब्दों के साथ हम इस प्रोग्राम के समापन पर पहुंचे हैं। डॉक्टर स्वामी ने जो आज अपना अनुभव पूरा निचोड़ के हमें दिया, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू रमेश जी, थैंक यू जगदीश जी फॉर adding to the discussion and identifying new points for our viewers. Thanks the technical team led by Ashish Shetty, Ishwar Gadgi Rakesh, Ishwar Iyer, Tejas Navalgul, Swaminathan, Vishal Mehta, Ajesh Nair and Gurdat Shetty. Like this, we'll be meeting again with a new topic and Dr. Subramanian Swami next Sunday, 8 p.m. in next episode of Words of Wisdom, Gyan Ganga. Till then, Namaskar, Jai Hind. Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Hind.